Commander Jack Lucky Murphy was having the kind of Monday that made him wish he'd pursued his childhood dream of becoming a professional sock puppet performer. Instead, he sat at his console in the Lunar Defense Station, staring at what could only be described as the galaxy's most enthusiastic attempt at synchronized space invasion. "Hey boss," called out Lieutenant Danny Parker from the sensor station, his voice carrying the same tone one might use to mention a slight coffee stain on their uniform. "Remember how you always say nothing interesting ever happens during the morning shift?" Murphy took a long sip from his world's okayest commander mug, a gift from his crew that felt increasingly ironic with each passing second. "Let me guess. Someone finally fixed the coffee machine." Not exactly. Danny's fingers danced across his holographic display. "More like 17 different alien armadas just appeared at the edge of our solar system. They're all claiming to be here to conquer Earth. Also, 3 of them are demanding we surrender to them specifically, and another one wants to know if we'd be interested in a timeshare presentation." Murphy set down his mug with the deliberate care of someone who had long since passed the point of being surprised by anything the universe threw at him. 17, you say? That's a bit excessive. Usually we only get one wannabe conqueror per quarter. Someone must have posted about us on Space Yelp. Technical Sergeant Maria Rodriguez, the station's communications expert, swiveled in her chair with the kind of grin that suggested she was either about to share something hilarious or had finally lost her mind. "Sir, you're going to love this. They're all trying to communicate at once, and their universal translators are interfering with each other. I'm getting everything from formal declarations of war to what appears to be an alien recipe for something that translates as victory cookies." "Victory cookies?" Murphy raised an eyebrow. "Well, that's a new one. Any chance they brought samples?" "Negative, sir. The one fleet is broadcasting what they claim is their galaxy-famous invasion theme song. It's actually pretty catchy." Murphy stood up, stretching as if preparing for nothing more strenuous than a casual game of golf. "All right, let's see what we've got here. Put the main invasion force on screen." The holographic display lit up with a spectacular view of what could only be described as the galaxy's most disorganized flash mob. Ships of various sizes and designs, some looking like they'd been designed by architects who'd had geometry described to them by a drunk toddler, were attempting to form what they probably thought was an intimidating battle formation. Sir Danny called out again, this time trying and failing to suppress a laugh. 3 of the fleets just collided while trying to get into position for their dramatic entrance. They're demanding we pretend we didn't see that and requesting a do-over." Murphy walked to the center of the command deck, hands clasped behind his back in his best impression of a proper military commander. "Send them our standard response package, Maria. You know the one." Rodriguez nodded, her fingers already typing. "Sending the... We're sorry. Earth is currently closed for invasion automated response, complete with hold music and an estimated wait time of 3 to 5 business millennia." As the alien fleet scrambled to make sense of Earth's bureaucratic defense systems, Murphy couldn't help but smile. It was going to be an interesting day after all. Perhaps he should have brought more coffee. "Oh, and Danny," Murphy called out, "start recording everything. If we survive this, it's going to make one hell of a story for the next staff meeting." The morning shift at Lunar Defense Station had officially begun, and somewhere in the vast expanse of space, 17 alien armadas were about to learn why Earth had gained a reputation as the galaxy's biggest headache. The first sign that this wasn't going to be your typical invasion came when 3 of the alien armadas attempted to execute what they claimed was a precision strike formation. Murphy and his crew watched in fascination as the fleets managed to create what looked less like a coordinated attack pattern and more like a cosmic game of bumper cars. Sir Danny called out, his voice wavering between professional concern and barely contained laughter. "The Xylofoid fleet is demanding that the Krathnir forces stop copying their attack formation. The Krathnir are insisting they had it trademarked first." Murphy pinched the bridge of his nose. "And the Third Fleet? The Vextalians are threatening to sue both of them for patent infringement. Their lawyer is already preparing a cease and desist order. In interpretive dance." From her communication station, Rodriguez raised her hand like an eager student with the answer to a particularly amusing math problem. "Commander, you're going to want to hear this. The Xylofoid Admiral is broadcasting what he claims is their ultimate victory speech. Should I patch it through?" "Why not? It's not like this day could get any more surreal." The command center's speakers crackled to life with a sound that could best be described as a garbage disposal attempting to perform opera. After several seconds of what might have been clearing their throat or throats, Murphy wasn't entirely sure about alien anatomy. The alien admiral began their speech. Pitiful earthlings. We have come to. Hang on, there was a pause and the sound of shuffling papers. Sorry, wrong speech. That was for Planet X-427. Let me just. Here we go. Pitiful earthlings. Your planet's strategic location and vast resources make it the perfect addition to our glorious empire. Surrender now and. What? What do you mean we're in the wrong solar system? Murphy exchanged glances with his crew. Maria, please tell me you're recording this. Every glorious second, sir. Including the part where they accidentally broadcast their entire invasion checklist, complete with notes about which planets have the best restaurants. The command center's main screen suddenly lit up with multiple warning indicators as the three competing fleets attempted to outmaneuver each other. The result looked less like warfare and more like an interpretive dance piece titled Chaos in Space. Sir Danny reported, struggling to keep a straight face, the Krathneer fleet just attempted a complex pincer movement. Unfortunately, they forgot to account for the fact that space has 3 dimensions. They've somehow managed to trap themselves in their own formation. Murphy took a long sip from his coffee mug, which had somehow remained full despite the chaos unfolding around them. And the others? The Vextalians are trying to help them, but they're using some sort of mathematical formula that appears to be based on the assumption that pi equals exactly 3. And the Xylofoids. Danny paused, double-checking his readings. They've somehow managed to arrange their ships into what appears to be a giant space emoji. I think it's supposed to be threatening, but honestly, it just looks confused. Rodriguez's console suddenly erupted with a symphony of alert sounds. Commander, we're getting emergency broadcasts from all 3 fleets. They're accusing each other of sabotage. Apparently, none of them thought to check if their targeting systems were compatible with each other's shield frequencies. Let me guess, Murphy sighed. They're all using different measurement systems too. Worse, sir. The Xylofoids measure everything in units based on the average length of their supreme leader's tentacles. The Krathneer use a system based on the time it takes for their favorite snack food to expire, and the Vextalians. She paused, double-checking her translation. They're insisting that everyone should be using their perfectly logical system based on the resonance frequency of their planet's third moon, divided by the number of spots on their sacred space hamster. As if to punctuate the absurdity of the situation, a brilliant flash lit up the space between the 3 fleets. When it cleared, several ships from each armada had somehow managed to entangle themselves in what could only be described as the galaxy's largest game of Twister. Should we do something? Danny asked, watching as the alien ships attempted to untangle themselves, only making the situation worse. Murphy leaned back in his chair, a small smile playing at the corners of his mouth. I think this is one of those rare occasions where the best defense is to simply let our opponents continue their current strategy. Sir Rodriguez interrupted. The Vextalian commander is requesting permission to surrender. To us. Because, and I quote, "This is just embarrassing, and we'd rather be defeated by the Earthlings than continue whatever this is." Murphy nodded sagely. Send them our standard surrender processing form. All 57 pages of it, in triplicate. Tell them we'll need it notarized by at least 3 extinct species. As the chaos continued to unfold before them, Murphy couldn't help but think that perhaps the universe's greatest defense against alien invasion wasn't advanced technology or powerful weapons, but rather the invaders' own spectacular ability to overcomplicate everything. Oh, and Maria, Murphy added, make sure to send them all a copy of our station's safety regulations, particularly the section about maintaining proper spacing during cosmic ballet performances. The look of confusion on his crew's faces was worth every second of this bizarre morning. As the morning's chaos settled into what could generously be called a diplomatic standoff, Murphy found himself facing an even greater challenge. Attempting to make sense of 17 different species all trying to negotiate simultaneously through what appeared to be the galaxy's most questionable translation software. All right, let's fire up Gary, Murphy announced, referring to the station's generally accurate response, Yellow Earth's latest attempt at universal translation technology. Gary was notorious for being technically accurate while somehow completely missing the point. A pleasant chime indicated Gary's activation. Greetings, meat-based life forms and associated consciousness patterns. Preparing for multi-species diplomatic discourse. Please note that sarcasm detection is still in beta testing. The first alien ambassador to appear on screen looked like what might happen if a crystal chandelier had a midlife crisis and decided to become a professional wrestler. Humans. We, the mighty crystalline confederation, demand your immediate. Wait, is this thing on? Can they see my good side? I specifically requested my good side be shown. Gary's translation came through with its usual enthusiasm. Speaker appears to be experiencing vanity subroutines. Suggested response complement their geometric symmetry. Before Murphy could respond, another ambassador cut in, this one appearing to be some sort of sentient gas cloud wearing what might have been a business suit. Earth must submit to the authority of the nebulous empire. We have come to. Oh no, my form is dissipating again. Can someone turn down the air conditioning? Sir Rodriguez whispered. I think that last one is actually trying to invade us through our ventilation system. Murphy nodded thoughtfully. Send them our HVAC maintenance schedule. All 37 years of it. A third ambassador, looking suspiciously like a collection of office supplies achieving consciousness, began what appeared to be a dramatic monologue. Gary's translation proved interesting. Original statement: your planet's resources will serve the greater glory of our empire. Actual meaning: we really need your paper clips. Our civilization has run out of ways to attach things together. Hold on, Murphy interrupted. You invaded Earth for our paper clips. Negative, the office supply collective responded. We also require your sticky notes. Our civilization's entire organizational system depends on small adhesive squares of paper in various neon colors. At this point, the Crystalline Confederation's ambassador cut back in, their facets gleaming with what might have been indignation or possibly indigestion. This is absurd. We claimed Earth first. We need your planet's strategic supply of, what do you call them? Cat videos. Gary helpfully translated the ensuing chaos as more ambassadors joined the argument. Species 4 demands Earth's surrender due to superior collection of internet memes. Species 5 threatens annihilation, unless humans explain how pizza works. Species 6 through 12 are now arguing about whether pineapple is an acceptable topping. Species 13 has begun composing an epic poem about their confusion. Murphy turned to his crew, who were all displaying varying degrees of professional composure in the face of what had become less of an invasion and more of a galactic cultural misunderstanding convention. Maria, please tell me you're still recording this. Every word, sir. Including the part where 3 different species just tried to claim they invented coffee first. Danny raised his hand. Sir, the nebulous empire is now demanding we explain why our cats don't respect their authority. Apparently they tried to mind control Earth's feline population and got nothing but disdain in return. Gary chimed in, helpfully calculating probability of successful invasion by species unable to dominate Earth cats. Result laughably low. The diplomatic chamber had devolved into what appeared to be a 17-way argument about Earth culture, with each species claiming to be the original source of various human innovations. The Crystalline Confederation was particularly adamant about their role in the invention of disco. Murphy stood up, straightened his uniform, and addressed the chaotic assembly. Distinguished representatives of the galaxy's various empires, perhaps we should take a brief recess. Our cafeteria is serving what we call Monday Mystery Meat Special, and I'm sure you'd all like to experience this unique aspect of Earth culture firsthand. Gary's translation must have been particularly interesting, as several of the ambassadors suddenly looked distinctly uncomfortable. Diplomatic alert, Gary announced. 14 species have simultaneously remembered urgent appointments elsewhere in the galaxy. 3 are claiming sudden allergies to Mondays. As the ambassadors scrambled to make dignified retreats, Murphy couldn't help but notice that Earth's first major diplomatic conference with multiple alien species had somehow turned into a potluck discussion about internet culture and office supplies. Sir Rodriguez called out, "Should I start preparing the official first contact paperwork?" Murphy smiled. Better prepare the thanks for visiting Earth gift bags instead. Include some paper clips, and maybe a cat meme or 2. Gary's final translation of the day summed it up perfectly. Conclusion: Earth continues to confuse and disturb galactic community by existing exactly as it is. As the diplomatic disaster reached its natural conclusion, Murphy decided it was time to show the remaining alien fleets why Earth had gained a reputation as the galaxy's ultimate hold my beer moment. Of course, in his case it was coffee, but the principle remained the same. All right, team, Murphy announced, setting down his now empty mug. I think it's time we introduced our visitors to Earth's actual defensive capabilities. Sir Danny looked up from his console with a mix of excitement and concern. Are you suggesting we show them the bureaucracy? I'm suggesting we show them all the bureaucracy. Rodriguez's eyes widened. The full package, sir? Even Form X-27B6. Especially Form X-27B6. Murphy's grin had acquired a distinctly mischievous quality. Fire up the administrative defense network. The command center hummed to life as Earth's true defensive systems activated. Instead of weapon systems or shield generators, hundreds of holographic screens materialized, each displaying various forms, questionnaires, and regulatory documents. Gary, please inform our guests that we're initiating first contact protocols. Executing bureaucratic engagement sequence, Gary announced cheerfully. Deploying digital paperwork barrage. The first salvo hit the alien fleets like a tidal wave of red tape. Permission forms for entering Earth's solar system retroactive, environmental impact statements for potential invasions, cultural sensitivity questionnaires, and tax documentation for interstellar military operations all began flooding their communication channels. Sir Danny reported, struggling to contain his laughter. The Crystalline Confederation is attempting to process Form X-27B6. They've already filed 3 appeals against the requirement to sign in triplicate with a number 2 pencil. Murphy nodded sagely. Send them the appendix explaining why digital signatures aren't accepted. All 47 pages of it. The Nebulous Empire's fleet was the first to show signs of cracking. Their ships began moving in increasingly erratic patterns as their command structure attempted to navigate Earth's regulatory requirements. Attention Earth Command, their admiral's desperate transmission came through. We formally protest the requirement to provide proof of insurance for each individual particle of our gaseous forms. Standard procedure. I'm afraid, Murphy responded. Though you might qualify for our multi-particle discount if you file Form Gas 567Q before the next solar wind. Rodriguez's console lit up with new alerts. Commander, the Office Supply Collective is experiencing what appears to be an existential crisis. They've just discovered our requirement for all forms to be paper-clipped and stapled. Ah yes, the infamous double attachment protocol. Send them the 16-page explanation of why we need both, along with the statistical analysis of paper clip versus staple efficiency in various gravitational conditions. The command center's main screen showed the alien fleets falling into disarray as Earth's administrative assault continued. Some ships were actively retreating, their crews presumably overwhelmed by the requirement to provide 5 forms of ID, including at least one from an extinct civilization. Sir Danny called out. The Vextalians are attempting to counterattack. With their own paperwork. Murphy raised an eyebrow. Amateur hour. Show them why you never bring standardized forms to a bureaucratic firefight. Deploy the Schedule 7 exception clauses. The effect was immediate and devastating. The Vextalian fleet's formation dissolved into chaos as their commanders attempted to understand why they needed to file separate permits for offensive and defensive maneuvers, with additional documentation required for any tactical decisions made during coffee breaks. Gary's voice cut through the chaos. Alert: multiple species now experiencing severe administrative overload. Detecting widespread confusion about why Form C-789 must be submitted in interpretive dance format. That's just the beginning, Murphy muttered, reaching for the station's emergency protocols. Time to show them our secret weapon. Maria, initiate protocol customer service. Rodriguez's fingers flew across her console, and a new message began broadcasting to all alien vessels. Thank you for contacting Earth's Invasion Processing Department. All our representatives are currently busy with other apocalyptic threats. Your planetary conquest is important to us. Please stay on the line. Your estimated wait time is, calculating, 3 to 5 business eons. The hold music that followed, an endless loop of elevator music interspersed with helpful suggestions to visit Earth's self-service invasion portal, proved to be the breaking point for several fleets. Commander Danny reported with obvious glee, 4 more empires are retreating. Their stated reason is urgent need to reorganize their entire civilization's filing system. Murphy stood at the center of the command deck, watching as humanity's most powerful defense mechanism, bureaucracy, refined to an art form, continued to wreak havoc among the invading forces. Send them all a feedback survey, he ordered. Make it clear that their invasion experience may be shared with third-party marketing partners, and remind them that their warranty on universal domination is only valid if they complete the customer satisfaction questionnaire. As the alien fleet scrambled to escape Earth's administrative reach, Murphy couldn't help but smile. Sometimes the best defense wasn't advanced technology or powerful weapons, but rather humanity's unique ability to turn paperwork into a weapon of mass confusion. Oh, and team, he added, don't forget to file your overtime requests for this invasion in triplicate. The forms are due yesterday. The complete breakdown of the invasion force happened in stages, each more gloriously chaotic than the last. It began when humanity's most potent cultural weapon accidentally leaked into the alien command network's unrestricted access to Earth's internet. Sir Rodriguez called out, trying to maintain her composure, "I think we may have accidentally shared our cat video archives when they tried to hack our systems." Murphy nodded gravely. "All of them. Everything from Keyboard Cat to last week's Mr. Whiskers discovers quantum physics. The Crystalline Confederation's flagship is currently broadcasting Nyan Cat on all frequencies." Gary helpfully translated the ensuing chaos. Multiple species now engaged in heated debate about proper categorization of Earth felines. Consensus failing. Philosophical crisis imminent. The command center's main screen displayed the alien fleets arranging themselves into what appeared to be competing fan clubs. 3 empires had already changed their official military insignias to various meme formats. Danny's console erupted with new alerts. "Commander, you're not going to believe this. The Office Supply Collective is attempting to establish diplomatic relations with Wikipedia." "Oh no," Murphy muttered. "They've discovered editing wars, haven't they?" "Worse, sir. They're trying to cite themselves as a primary source for Earth's history. The nebulous empire is threatening war over proper citation formats." The situation deteriorated further when Earth's social media algorithms got involved. Somehow, several alien species had managed to create accounts on multiple platforms, leading to what could only be described as the galaxy's first interstellar flame war. "Diplomatic alert," Gary announced, detecting massive increase in use of caps lock across all channels. 7 species now communicating exclusively in reaction GIFs. Rodriguez looked up from her station, barely containing her laughter. "Sir, the Vextalians are demanding to speak to Earth's manager. They're particularly upset about something called rickrolling." "Send them the customer service chatbot," Murphy ordered. "The one that responds to everything with 'Have you tried turning your invasion off and on again?'" The alien fleet's command structure continued to unravel as Earth's internet culture worked its inexorable magic. Some ships had begun broadcasting what appeared to be their own versions of unboxing videos, featuring increasingly confused attempts to understand human technology. Commander Danny reported, 3 more empires have withdrawn from the invasion. Their official reason is urgent need to create TikTok accounts. The Crystalline Confederation's flagship was now surrounded by a cloud of smaller vessels arranged in what appeared to be a recreation of a popular dance challenge. Their admiral's last transmission before retreating simply read, "But why do the humans have so many different ways to make bread?" Murphy watched as the invasion force devolved into competing social media influencer campaigns. "How many fleets are still actively trying to conquer us?" "Hard to say," Sir Rodriguez replied. 5 of them are too busy arguing about whether a hot dog is a sandwich, 3 have become obsessed with pictures of breakfast foods, and 1 is attempting to monetize their invasion livestream. The situation reached its peak when no one was quite sure who introduced the alien commanders to Earth's collection of conspiracy theories. Alert, Gary broadcast, multiple species now questioning whether Earth actually exists or is merely an elaborate hoax created by space dolphins. The command center crew watched in amazement as the formerly coordinated invasion force separated into countless sub-factions, each with its own increasingly bizarre theory about Earth's true nature. Sir Danny called out, "The last remaining hostile fleet is requesting permission to surrender via interpretive dance video." Murphy sighed, reaching for his coffee mug. "Tell them we'll only accept their surrender if it goes viral, and make sure they use the proper hashtags." As the alien armadas retreated in various states of cultural confusion, Rodriguez's console picked up one final transmission warning to all galactic civilizations. Earth's mimetic hazards are real. Their culture is infectious. We came to conquer their world but instead learned to vibe approach with extreme caution. Murphy couldn't help but smile as he watched the last ships disappear into hyperspace, some of them still broadcasting cat videos. "Well, team, I think it's safe to say Earth's cultural defense systems are working as intended." "Should we file a report about this?" Sir Danny asked. "Of course. But first, let's upload the footage to Earth's new Galactic social media account. I think How to Fail at Invading Earth Epic Fail Compilation 42 has a nice ring to it." Gary's final analysis summed it up perfectly. Task failed successfully. Alien invasion thwarted through aggressive deployment of human internet culture, suggesting new planetary defense classification weapons grade weirdness. As the last alien ship vanished into hyperspace, still broadcasting what appeared to be a mashup of cat videos and bureaucratic paperwork set to dance music, Commander Murphy gathered his crew for the traditional post-invasion debriefing. All right, team, he announced, finally refilling his perpetually empty coffee mug. Time to file the after-action report. And no, we can't just send them a link to the viral video compilation. Rodriguez raised her hand. Even though it already has 6 billion views across the galaxy. Even though it's trending on Alien Talk, Murphy confirmed. Gary, begin official record. Initiating report compilation. Attempting to maintain professional tone despite overwhelming urge to use emoji in official documentation. Murphy cleared his throat. At 0800 hours Earth Standard Time, 17 alien armadas attempted simultaneous invasion of Earth. At 0801 hours, Operation Please Don't Look Too Closely at What We're Doing entered its final phase. Danny's head snapped up. Final phase, sir. Murphy's grin took on a distinctly smug quality. Did you really think humanity survived countless invasion attempts through sheer luck? That we just happened to develop the galaxy's most impenetrable bureaucracy by accident? That our internet just happened to be perfectly calibrated to cause maximum confusion among alien species? The command center fell silent as the implications sank in. Earth's greatest defense, Murphy continued, has always been our ability to appear simultaneously too chaotic to be worth invading and too incomprehensible to be properly conquered. We didn't just survive first contact, we weaponized it. Rodriguez's eyes widened. The paperwork, specifically designed to be just plausible enough to seem real while being completely impossible to actually complete. Every form references 3 others that don't exist, each in a different made-up department. The internet, Danny whispered. Carefully curated to present the image of a species that is simultaneously capable of achieving spaceflight and still arguing about whether water is wet. Do you really think cat videos became our dominant art form by accident? Gary chimed in, revelation processing complete. Earth's defensive strategy appeared too weird to colonize. Murphy nodded, pulling up a classified file on his terminal. Operation Hot Mess has been running since humanity first detected alien signals. We realized we couldn't compete with advanced civilizations in terms of technology or military might. So we made ourselves the galaxy's equivalent of that house on the street that everyone agrees is just too much trouble to deal with. The constant invasions, Rodriguez began, are exactly what we wanted. Each failed attempt adds to Earth's reputation as the planet that's just not worth the effort. The galaxy's greatest empires don't avoid Earth because they can't conquer us, they avoid us because dealing with us is just too much paperwork. Danny sat back, stunned. So when I accidentally broadcast that TikTok compilation to the Crystalline Confederation, it wasn't an accident. Just like it wasn't an accident that our first response to alien contact was to demand they fill out forms and triplicate. Humanity's greatest weapon has always been our ability to be simultaneously fascinating and frustrating. Murphy stood, looking out at the now empty space where 17 alien fleets had recently decided that maybe universal conquest wasn't worth dealing with Earth's customer service department. Our job isn't to fight the invasions, it's to make sure each one fails in a uniquely memorable way. To ensure that every would-be conqueror leaves with a story so bizarre that no one else will want to try. Rodriguez raised her hand again. Is that why we required the nebulous empire to provide individual insurance for each of their gas particles? Exactly. And why we insisted the Office Supply Collective submit their invasion plans paper-clipped and stapled. The galaxy runs on stories, and we make sure every story about Earth ends with, and then it got weird. As his crew processed this revelation, Murphy began composing Earth's latest addition to the Galactic Grapevine, a detailed report of how 17 advanced alien armadas were defeated by a combination of bureaucracy, cat videos, and strategic application of Monday morning confusion. Gary, add a final note to the report, Murphy ordered. Operation status successfully chaotic. Earth continues to maintain its position as the galaxy's most effective deterrent against common sense. Adding postscript, Gary replied. Suggested title for next invasion attempt: Why You Should Have Left Earth Alone Now with More Paperwork. Murphy smiled, raising his coffee mug in a toast. To humanity defending Earth through strategic incomprehensibility since first contact. His crew raised their mugs in return, and somewhere in the vast expanse of space, 17 alien empires were adding Earth to their Do Not Invade lists, right under the heading Requires Too Many Forms. The last message intercepted from the retreating fleet said it all, warning to all civilizations: Earth is not worth it. They will make you fill out paperwork until you forget why you wanted to invade in the first place. Also, they have cats. So many cats. Murphy considered this a job well done. After all, the best defense isn't just a good offense, it's being so uniquely troublesome that no one wants to deal with you in the first place. Oh, and team, he added as an afterthought, don't forget to submit your overtime forms in interpretive dance format with citations.